Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I had the opportunity to do a little bit of thrifting recently, and Dollarama type purchases. So I thought I would just take this chance to show you some of what I've gotten. I don't know that it will fit in one video or not. I guess maybe you could tell me that in the comments. Do you prefer hearing a bit of, do you prefer hearing maybe a bit of background or history on items if I happen to know it? Do you prefer hearing possible uses for the item in, the junk journal making business? Or would you just prefer that I keep it short and sweet? Because, I can probably fight the urge to talk, and shorten these videos a bit. So let me know for the future. Anyway, let's get to it. Now, it's after Canada Day, and I don't know if this is a direct result of all the, the drama that's been going on with the U.S. and the 51st state comments and all that. I know I've never been a flag flying person. I've never, I didn't feel I needed to wear my nation's name or identity on my sleeve. But earlier on, I bought myself a few pairs of those low-riser socks with Canadian designs on them. Anyway, I was in Dollarama, and I saw that they had these, well, it says magnet with charms. So, like, how darn cute is that? The flag, a moose, the maple leaf, a hockey player, and then an outline of the country. So I picked up, I think I picked up 3 of these because I am collecting for a Canada journal. So these would be great charms to, remove these things and use them as charms or part of a dangle or whatever. And because Crinkled Path Carol's visit to Canada and to meet me, and likewise me to meet her, is imminent, I picked up some Canada stuff for her as well. So I hope, honestly, I started second guessing myself, thinking, okay, well, what if, like if somebody gave me a bunch of U.S. flag stuff, I don't know how I would feel about that. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how that goes over. And then this was the one and only keychain that they had. So again, cute dangle. 4 little flags and this circular thing. So I'll be adding this to my Canada stuff. Let me cut this open. I don't know about you, but I'm constantly needing, wanting elastic bands. And sometimes in the past, I have bought them based on color or whatever. But the stinky off-gas smell that comes off these rubber products just was giving me a headache despite every attempt to air them out and spread them out. And anyway, I'm going to do the sniff test. Well, they do have a bit of a smell, but nothing like that toxic other thing I subjected myself to. So I will add these to my elastic container. So it's just one of those maintenance type purchases. I also picked up these bags, excuse me, these bags of beads. These kind of look like candies almost. I picked up 2 of them. Oh, maybe because they have an H right there? These are round, printed on both sides, and very colorful because these are handy during doing baby books. I then picked up a white package. Now, I have some started packages, but again, depending on the letters that you need, there may not be enough of the particular letter that you need. So for $1.50 a package, I am in good shape. I just have to remember where I've got those and add these to them. Oh, I was going to put some of these. See, polka dot design makes me kind of think retro. Maybe, oh, here, this is a different opening. This is kind of a, maybe more like a 50s thing. Isn't that a clever opening instead of the other dumb things that they sometimes use? Anyway, I'm still putting together stuff for Carol. I know that this is one of her favorite colors, so I'm going to put a few of these in her bag because, you know, she does retro stuff, so she can probably use some of those. This is a yard of 100% cotton Tonka fabric. So I guess that's what it looks like. So it's basically, oh, I guess it's all dump trucks, just in different, you know, sizes and directions. So I picked this because, number one, it would be good to have some kind of fabric like this that, you know, if I get an order for a baby boy, this would obviously be cute to work into it. It almost has like a checker plate design at the back there as well. So the blue, you can't go wrong with the blue. Yellow, it's, this will go with the baby stuff. Oh my goodness, I put the baby things away and I filled a whole tote. Now, it's not the biggest tote in the world, but still, couldn't believe it. Now, I don't know about you, but my peony bushes have been absolutely magnificent. And honestly, I cut very few of them so far. And then the wind and the rain battered them up a bit. But what I did was, as they were starting to fade, and you know, whether this happens on your counter beside a vase, or if this happens outside in the garden, when those petals fall, that is quite the quite the mess, because of course they've got millions of petals and the heads are so big and there are so many blooms on a bush. Anyway, I removed all the petals and I put them in a big paper bag. And every so often I sort of, if I'm walking by there, I stir them up, give them a shake, because I thought that I didn't have the time to quickly try some eco dyeing with those vibrant colors. So I thought, well, maybe the dried will work just as well. So one of these days, hopefully I'll have a chance to do that. Anyway, long story short brings me to this point. At Dollarama, I saw this pad. Now, it's only 8 by 10. And the buggers, they put that in GSM. How about pounds? Anyway, allegedly, this is watercolor paper. It's got a bit of a, you know, a design and a tooth to it. So from my previous eco dyeing experience, I have discovered that if the paper is thin, you know, it's almost a waste of time and foliage to do it, because the paper will more than likely tear at some point and then you've got scraps. Obviously this would be a better deal if they were 8.5 by 11, but 8 by 10 isn't that bad. So I honestly did not want to use expensive watercolor paper for that purpose, because it, you know, the whole point is kind of that grungy look. So I will try this and see how it works. And of course, it doesn't hurt one little bit that that is a lovely watercolor painting right there. Okay, let me put this aside. If in doubt, drop it on the floor. Now, oh, I see I need to do a better job of cleaning this. This is obviously a candle holder. I just gave it a cursory rinse, but I should probably get in there with an old toothbrush or something. And it says it's made in Switzerland. And it was, I guess, imported by somebody in Vancouver. So, you know, when you have a pillar candle, nothing else will really do unless you kind of want to wreck a, you know, a saucer or something. So, yeah, for some reason I didn't seem to have any candle holders. And I'd gotten a bunch of party light stuff, bought and got some party light stuff from Brenda. And, you know, I want to burn candles, but hey. Do these remind you of anything? Sorry about the green bowl. I just wanted something plastic to throw them into. I got a call from a guy who used to live around here. I just realized there's a number on there. 78. And this says 2. Anyway, he was off, like he reads my weekly newspaper column and figured, okay, we're trying to get rid of some stuff. Hazel might be the perfect person to offer it to. So we finally had our rendezvous earlier today. And I was gobsmacked by his generosity. And I could have had a wooden coal stove if I would have wanted it. Or a chrome table. But, you know, again, even I have limits. Not many. They don't often surface, but yeah. Anyway, so in one of the dresser drawers, there were these, well, we used to call them perm rods. I don't know if that's the real name or not. Anyway, they're for coloring your hair. So they were in a little pail, so I washed them and they're still a bit wet. I was just letting them drip dry. Anyway, in that container was this insert from a Tony box. So, of course, Tony, I don't know if they still exist, but that was a brand name for home permanents. So you can see that, you know, the instructions, what you get in a kit, the lotion, the neutralizer, the little end papers and so on. And these, if these curlers kind of remind you of anything, that was also one of the mystery supplies that Angela provided during the Mission Impossible challenge that Carol, Jonna, and I did. So anyway, I thought it was kind of cool that I now have a whole bunch of my own. I wish more of them, I wish there were fewer yellow ones, to be honest, but who knows, maybe I'll sell those or something. And I also believe that the woman of the house must have painted this hinge end with nail polish, because they pretty well, everyone that I looked at has that bit of something there, like a nail polish color. Oh yeah, and it flakes off. Well, that's good to know, because I don't like that. So how did you spend your summer? Oh, I scraped at nail polish that's been dried up for decades. That one came off a lot better than that one. Anyway, it's good to know that it does come off with a bit of elbow grease. So that was cool. Another thing that I spotted in one of the drawers was this ball of crochet cotton. That label looks kind of older than some of the ones I've seen, so that's kind of a bonus too. So we shall see. I don't know. Well, I'm not experienced enough with crocheting to know if a bigger hook works. Like, is the size of the hook supposed to be proportionate to the size of the fiber? That would be a good thing to know. Jonna, tell me. These, I didn't even, ooh, I should have wiped the dust off. Maybe I can just do that before I show it to you. These were hanging on the wall. And I said, can I have them? And he said yes, because he was offering me, goodness knows, stuff that was more valuable than this. These are so kitschy. as to maybe be a little bit cool. I would say this is what, a 5 by 7? 6.5 by 4.5. Okay, so it's like I can feel the lumps and bumps of paint. I mean, this is kitschy, so kitschy. This is pretty gross back here. Anyway, what I was thinking is that I would take these out of here. Can I? Oh, I can see this is going to be a long video if I stop to do things like this. But honestly, why don't we just all find out? These bent pliers aren't the best. Ugh. And could they have put any bigger nails in to hold this teeny tiny piece of paper? Obviously, with the right set of pliers, this would have worked better. Oh my goodness, I thought I could just slide it out, but apparently not. Can I just lift this to release it? That's more like it. Okay, so that's what we have. So, you know, obviously, oh, two things. Obviously, a person could paint over this and get rid of that really awful mountain. Like, I just think it's worth putzing with a bit because it would be the perfect size for a journal topper. And this is such an odd color combination that it's not like you could really use it as is, you know, back it and use it as a journal card. But anyway, so we will see what happens with that. The other thing I noticed, it was so funny. We went up these, well, the stairs were kind of sturdy, I thought, it felt like, but they had no railings, like, you know, building code, what does that mean? Back in the 30s or whatever it was. Anyway, I saw this mobile hanging from a rafter because it was just like a pitched roof. And I thought, well, these could be cute in a baby journal. I haven't cleaned these yet, but maybe I could use these nearly dry wipes. Somebody told me once that if you add a bit of liquid into here, it sort of reactivates them. And then, of course, when I got them home, I realized that there's one missing. But again, that doesn't matter. This is probably all lead paint too, so don't you be chewing on these, anybody. Lead paint, no railings. We're lucky we survived our childhood. Anyway, they are a little bit thick. However, they might be cute on a journal cover again. So I will, I'll do that right now. Cut them off here. Throw away that dirty plastic thing. Maybe I'll save this hook. This is one of those screw-eye hooks. So typically, well, I hope it's, typically they're just threaded into something. Nothing seems to be happening though. So maybe, again, where are my lousy pliers? I could save that thing. Whoops, and throw that on. Give this guy a little wipe. You know, just again, I should have offered a kitschy warning at the start of the video. He also offered me this scrapbook. There's nothing in it as far as I can tell. Here's a piece of tape. Oh, save that, baby. So, you know, again, just, you newsprint type paper, so that always comes in handy. Well, I might as well finish with, now this is still damp, because the house hasn't been lived in for a long time. Now, I don't know, if this is mouse damage or what it is, but I thought this was worth taking a chance on. So I threw it along with the other textile things that I got into the washing machine, but I did not put this in the dryer. Now, obviously, this ratty-tatty trim has to come off. This will continue to air dry. This is clearly damaged here, but, there's enough here to do it. Well, let's see what the inside looks like. This will help it dry too if I get rid of some of this. Now, to be honest, like I said, you know what it's like. You go into an old house, and frankly, I've since I got home, I put a pair of gloves, latex gloves, in the car, because honestly, sometimes when we're looking at even thrift stores, you feel like you should be wearing PPE of some sort. So at least some gloves would be good. Now, is this... I suppose I could let this dry and see what, it's practically stained for me. There are these buttonholes, which maybe could be used in some way. Anyway, I'm going to continue to let this air dry, and we will see what becomes of it. I obviously do have other things to make covers with, long before this guy's turn comes up, but we shall see. Let me fling that over there. I'm going to save that for the end. I was at a thrift store the other day, and I have now this is obviously a bigger person's scrub top. But look it's a registered Peanuts, legitimate whatever, LLC, 2011. Now, as you can see, it's got purple and mauve as a background color, which to me seems an unlikely color to have paired with Snoopy. However, there are people, and I believe Carol is one of them, who love Snoopy. So I will be cutting a hunk of this off for her. So I, of course, washed this. I haven't ironed it or anything yet, but it looks like it doesn't really need that. It must be poly cotton. It is nice every so often to find something that in a bigger size. It's those little tiny size 4 people. You hardly get any fabric. Anyway, so I hope this wasn't a waste of money, because I did pay, a few bucks for it. I also thought, there was going to get quite a bit out of it. So hopefully that wasn't a waste of money. Back to this old house. I love bark cloth. This is bark cloth. Now, it's not the most beautiful bark cloth I've ever seen. Lord knows that. But I did wash it, and this was just covering, because of course in little old farmhouses, you kind of made do. So maybe you had a curtain closing off a cupboard or a storage area, as opposed to actual doors. Anyway, I didn't notice any holes there, but when I washed and ironed it, those must have been points of weakness, and the holes are there. Now, of course, there's the header, the side hem, and the bottom hem to also, you know, take apart. And I guess if I would have wanted to touch, you know, dirty, creepy fabric, I would have done that part first. Looks like this is just hand sewn. It's going to come apart just by, that's a stick pin. Just got stabbed. So again, there will be a way to use this. I mean, even these turquoise diamonds are just lovely on their own. So I thought that was worth, again, gambling on. In one of the rooms, maybe it was the living room, there were these curtains on the wall. And they're certainly not floor length or anything. This is not bark cloth, but it's obviously 70s. But because it had a lining, there's no sun rot. So I don't know, oh, well, that's a seam. That maybe let go in the wash process too. So there are 2 panels of this. They had pinch pleated tops. Both this guy and I were too short to get the hooks down, but there was a third guy, or there was another person there. He was a bit taller and he got the hooks off. You know, he was able to reach. So again, you know, a pinch pleat is just, there's typically, I hope I'm in shot, there's typically a stiffening, I was going to say agent, but that's not the right word. Oh, I thought it was just that one stitch. There are a few stitches there. Anyway, this can all come apart. Now that will probably be brighter than anything else because it hasn't been exposed to as much light. Or if a person wants to save themselves a few hours of labor, cut it off right below this part and call yourself lucky that you've got all the rest. So I don't really see any tags of any kind saying what the fiber content is or whatever, but again, it turned out better than I expected, and now at least it's not dusty. I'm not worried about catching something, and it has a better, you know, it smells good because of the stuff I added to the wash. Okay, so 2 panels of that. And I know that there are people among us who kind of really love this colorway. So, you know, that's something obviously I will share with some people. Okay, let me put that aside. Now, I think I will, how long have we been going here? Oh, that's not too bad, 28 minutes. Maybe I'll just quickly, I did do some, I bought some kids' books at a thrift store the other day, but maybe I will not bother. Well, that's too much for today. I was at a thrift store that I'd never been to in a fairly big town, and I couldn't get over the fact, well, okay, so I had done some research, thrift stores, and this particular shop came up and it said it was, and I really thought the prices were kind of on the high side. And I know that a lot of prices have gone up, you know, everywhere, whether it's secondhand or not. But at one point I said to somebody working there, I said, so you're kind of an antique / thrift store? And she says, we're a consignment shop, so we sell what people bring us to sell. So, of course, there were some really expensive items, and then there were other things that I thought were too much considering what they were. Anyway, maybe this wasn't such a bad price. This was $3. So this is a Bucilla kit for making this this panel, wall panel. So oh, well, look at that. There's white rickrack. There are these brightly colored fibers. A dowel. This is looking more and more like a deal the more I talk about it. Oh, the little ends for the dowel, the cord, and whoops, pre-printed felt. Oh, and a needle. Okay, so where's that picture? The reason I thought this might be worth buying, I have no intention of making a kit. However, when I'm discovering this. Okay, this is like interfacing, like it is interfacing, so that's good. There are the letters, which I could easily cut out and put on a baby book, for instance. There's some jars and, what is that, a zebra or something? Maybe that's an apple. So that is a bonus. Looks like, oh, this is the, okay, see, this is the background navy stuff that you would put the white felt letters on after you cut them out. There is a cutting line. Let me do this right side up. A cutting line to make pockets for these little tiny guys that go in there. And I guess that's where this stuff comes in. So that's two little faces. This looks like it's, what, a lion or something. There's a guitar, a cat. So various things in various colors. So again, I could do this. I don't know if they're stitched. Well, the instructions are here, so I don't know. But I mean, a person could easily use, you know, Fabri-Tac or, what's the other one? Art glitter glue, and not have to worry about stitching. So I just thought this was kind of cute. Kind of cute. So now that I've spread everything all over. Oh, one of the other things I forgot to tell you or show you when I was looking at these curlers is that I saw these on the floor. Now, of course, there's going to be someone out there who's going to know exactly where these came from. They're obviously playing pieces. And now that Jonna has started that Trinket Tuesday, was I going to leave these there? No, I wasn't. Okay, so I'm glad I remembered to tell you that. I like this like, isn't that just kind of, doesn't this make you feel 10 years, 20 years younger just when you look at it? Anyway, let me scoop all this up and carry on, as it were. I will put this back in that bag when I'm done. Or maybe I'll cut it up so it's easier to get right to. Okay, what else? Oh, I bought this box. Now, I don't know. I have a million of these, but I kind of liked, and of course a person can do that just by taking out the little, this doesn't even have any dividers. But I thought, you know, there's probably a time when this would be the perfect size for either brushes or, well, not crochet hooks. But now I've got crochet hooks on the brain too. So I picked this one up. Well, this was 50 cents, so maybe that wasn't so bad. This is very short. I don't know. This one was twice the price at $1. And then, oh, I don't have them here. And then at Dollarama, a 12-piece set off crochet hooks for $3. I didn't care that, I mean, I don't like that they're so pastel-y, but I picked this up. Now, this was $4. To me, I think that's too much, but that's my color. So what was I going to leave it behind? I did make her open it because it says that it's supposed to have a hook, needle and hook thing. However, and this was part of it because once I opened it up, I saw that it, in fact, is like an evening bag. Not like it. It is an evening bag. And supposedly that is a crochet thing. So you would think there should have been a crochet hook in there. I guess these are closure. It must be, what, a magnetic, I don't know, some kind of a closure. I am obviously not going to crochet an evening bag, but I did like the look of this. There's a lot there, and it's, I think, a weight that I don't have or might enjoy using. So that's that. What else? Not too much more. Oh, and I think it was Jonna that did the video on using one of these. Of course, I haven't wiped anything. That has these holes. She put her, oh Lord, she put her some spools of baker's twine inside there and fed the loose end. Let's try a wet wipe this time. She threaded, put the loose end through, or the loose end through there, and supposedly you can just pull out, you can pull out the length you need without it getting tangled or whatever. So, looking forward to trying that. Now, this cost $3, but it's probably worth it. Especially if this works, and especially if it is a reminder. Oh, no, $2. Especially if it is a reminder to actually use those threads. Or that twine, I mean. Oh, that's coming off quite well. That's amazing. So, of course, without saying, because, I do have, I can control myself. So instead of saying, holy cow, your prices are crazy, I say, I'm very, gently and with genuine curiosity say, so do the consigners set the prices? And then she goes into this long convoluted answer about how, well, yeah, no, yeah, sort of, we set the price. We know what retail is, and we typically take 50% off, and sometimes even more. And I'm thinking, There was some, like back in the day, there were those, like Lily of the Valley and those little beaded things that, a lot of people used for weddings and whatnot. I couldn't believe my eyes that this one thing, they had priced at $20. And there was another price tag on it for $26.95 or something. So I go up to her and I say, so what's the price on this? And she looks at it and she says, $19.99. And I did sort of gasp and double take. And I was a little dramatic, but I'm thinking, that is stupid, man. So where is the, we take 50% and sometimes more off. Anyway, I don't know. This was 50 cents. It is a little cross-stitch kit. Now, again, unlikely to do it, but I will use the thread. It's nice to have Aida cloth in that color. And then there's this sort of sponge effect little frame, which, of course, could also be used. I mean, that's an ugly color, but it could be painted or covered with something, and that could be a journal topper. Like, that was a deal. Okay, what else? I paid too much for this, but I paid $2 because they're so cute. I've never seen little mini craft sticks. Now, I don't know if I would wrap, would I wrap 9 inches of ribbon around? I cannot explain this purchase. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess there are 125 in there. Yeah, I don't know. If you have a bright idea for this, then tell me. Picked up, whoops, not that I really need music books, but yikes. Maybe I could break my new things. This was $2. I guess I kind of liked that it was more like the standard size as opposed to the 11 by so normal. This one I thought was lovely because of this cover, and it has another beautiful rose at the back, and of course, and that part. 1934-35, renewed in 1962-63. Metro Goldwyn Mayer. Okay, what have we got here? Copyright 1920, copyright 1968. So it is almost, I don't know what you have to do to find music that is not copyright, because much of it has had its copyright renewed. And there's, half a page of warnings about it. So, but again, it's the cover, the covers. How big is this? 9. That would almost have to be in a tall, skinny. That would be a good idea. Boy, I hope I can get this off without. Oh, looky there. That's cool. Their price tags, I have to say, are a wee bit different. They don't seem to. Now, somebody wrote their name all over this. Of course, that is not coming off, but maybe that's okay. Anyway, and the third one is this one. I thought these little figures dancing were kind of cool, and that's like a doily or some kind of design at the back there. The paper is more yellowy. They're, mind you, they probably didn't take credit cards anyway. Of course, I'm all about collecting the points. Okay, so 1953. So I never use a debit card. I'm not even sure I would know how. I certainly don't remember any PIN number. So, it is always good to have some cash on you when you go into situations like this. I think the last thing, and this, I got these 3 pencils from the guy at the farm there. I Heart Alberta Beef. What is this? Made in China. And this one is Alberta Chicken. There you have it. I might have to give this to Carol. It's got little copper chickens on there. Anyway, so they had quite a bit of 12 by 12 paper. And I say to that same girl, what are you charging for the paper? I don't know, 25 cents a sheet. Which doesn't inspire confidence exactly when a person says it that way, but whatever. So I did find a few sheets. This, I guess, was intended as wedding stuff. Is there a date on here? Nope. I better not forget to show you my favorite thing there. Some gingham. Oh, I didn't realize that was there. Where the heck did I get these? I thought it was all gingham. Oh, not impressed. I don't like that. Anyway, I think I picked these. Oh, I picked these because they had these calendars on them. 2011, Sassafras. So the other side is a not very attractive floral. But it's got this scalloped little thing, so I guess that's a saving grace there. I picked up some butterfly paper simply because Kim loves butterflies and Kim loves green and gold. So I'm thinking these will be for her. More butterflies. And then this batch was $1. So we'll see what we got in here. Oh. Hey, vellum. Who knew? Oops. Okay. Butterfly. That's vellum too. And then these sentiments. So I say 25 cents. So there. Okay. I said I won't do the books today, but I will show you the last and final item. Last and final. Have you ever seen anything like this? Now I washed it. Clearly there's a little something missing here. These are pom-poms, I guess. Well, they are, I guess. Fringe, like these tassels. I honestly didn't know what would happen when I threw this in the wash. And I actually, so maybe there's some stains on these two. I also put it through the dryer because they were looking a wee bit, you know how things are if they don't get fluffed up by a dryer. So yeah, I think it's very good news that this is missing, but nothing else has fallen apart. So there must be a way to deconstruct this without having it all end up as a pile of fuzz. And when the time comes, I will make sure I do that in front of you. But isn't that kind of cool? See, what I just, when I got it home and got it clean, I thought, cut this off all around and end up with the fringe part that could then be, attached to a journal somehow. This could even be a journal cover, I guess, if a person backed it and gave it some stability. I mean, it's too big. Excluding the fringe, it's 12 inches. But if a person could, cut off a row, cut them into rows or something, that would be like having a lot of very unique pom-pom fringe. So anyway, if you've got any bright ideas, well, number one, I did ask you those questions at the start of the video. Do you want to hear some background or a bit of a story about items if I know it? If I know something? Do you like hearing some possible uses or what I intend to do with them? Or do you just want it to be more cut and dried and just the facts, ma'am? Just the facts. So yeah, let me know about that. And if you have any bright ideas for this or have seen anything similar to it, I'd be interested in knowing. Anyway, that is it, my dears. I will be doing another video, well, at some point, showing those books that I got. And keep your fingers crossed on my behalf, although you're probably not going to see this in time for your prayers to help me. But there are a number of auction items that I'm interested in bidding on over the next few days. And if I get some of that stuff, you guys will be some of the beneficiaries of that as they come to my live sale, first Thursday of the month. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.